Great. All right. Well, hello everyone. Thanks for joining us for the call. It's great to be here. It's always nice to see new people coming into the business. I've been involved for nearly 2.5 years now with Healy. When it first came into Australia, I was one of the newbies that got hooked into it pretty quickly, and it was, I live in Western Australia, but Healy Australia itself was the Wild West. It was crazy. It was just really trying to make do with what we could do. Australia didn't actually have a Healy official presence at all. We weren't even really supposed to have the product. It was just the fact that there was a girl from South Perth who was in Europe, was involved in network marketing, and had wrongly been diagnosed with MS. You might have heard of her, Taryn Lee Harrington. She is now a global ambassador for Healy and one of the biggest leaders for Healy. And she found this little product as one of the alternative solutions. And at the time, Healy was very much working through their practitioners. So Healy is a personal device which is based on something called the time waiver. So I don't know if you guys have heard of, seen the time waiver at all. Does that sound familiar? No? Okay. So time waiver was a practitioner's device that was used for maybe about a decade. And one of its main practitioners was a man called Nuno Nina. And Nuno Nina, and I don't know about you guys, whether you have had that place where you go to a chiro or a physio or something like that, and you only go there when things get bad enough that you're like, oh my God, I have to go to the physio right now, right? So then the physio lets you get back to kind of the status quo, and then you just keep letting all of that drain until you get to the point where, like, it's so bad I need to go back to the physio, right? And he was getting that working with vibrational therapies. And he was witnessing this, and he really just wanted to be able to provide an in-home solution, a personal solution for people, so they could then do the therapies at home without them needing to come to him all the time. And that is literally how Healy was born. These two guys, Marcus Schmeeker, who was the inventor of Time Waver and also of Healy, they got together and created this product. And so when Taryn found it, and this is late 2019, they said, oh, look, yeah, just take it to Australia. That'll be fine. They imagined that maybe she might sell 200 devices in a year or something like that. She sold 400 devices in 2 weeks when she brought it to Australia. And it really got shifted from a place of practitioner devices and people giving it to their clients to more like the conscious entrepreneurs looking at biohacking alternatives. How can we support ourselves and the friends around us with technology that's available? And that's what the Healy brought out. And it really kind of shifted the whole dynamic of Healy. And then some of you might have seen some of the reviews of people waiting for months and months for their devices and things like that in 2020. And the reason for that is the explosion that happened in Australia was, let's say, a 3 or a 4 in a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the maximum. And Healy was kind of rolling around in 1s and 2s. And then Australia came along and there was this huge burst, which was maybe a 3 or a 4. And then America opened up in 2022. And basically everything, all of the resources that Healy had shifted from the global perspective to trying to service America, because they sold, what was it, $25 million worth of sales in 6 weeks when Healy opened up in America. And it just, one of those real problems of any startup is, can you meet the demand as the demand grows? And that is often where startups fail, because there is this huge influx of interest in this amazing new product, and then all of a sudden 1 million people want your device and you can deliver 1,000 a month, and all of a sudden everyone has got a desire to meet it, and then it just implodes on itself. And we've kind of gone through all of those transitions, all of those, what we used to call the pioneering stage, where we're riding out on the horses and claiming some land. And now we're actually building some cities and some structure, and the foundations for Healy Australia are really quite solid. And we have got good representation here now, and the company itself is getting some good structures in place to make it really solid for anyone who's wanting to step in. So that's a little bit of a background of where some of the history is with Healy up to now. And we are in a place where, I don't know if you guys have been involved in startup businesses before, but there is this thing of this trajectory that kind of grows and grows, and then all of a sudden it hits this huge expansion. And that's kind of where we are now globally with Healy, that capacity is meeting the demand, and the demand is growing really, really fast. And so that's why right now is an amazing time to be involved in Healy, because everything that you kind of want to do and being able to share the Healy and to use the Healy is being supported by Healy in Australia and globally. So moving forward from where we are right now into what is available. And so some of you have just recently purchased the Healy, I understand, and some of you are maybe still looking at getting a Healy. One of the most important things is to, when you join as a member, to really take advantage of the back office. And one of the things that we didn't have in the past was real training. And that is something that we do have now. There is business training in the back office. There is in the icons on the left-hand side, there is a spanner icon, which is your tools. And this is really your main go-to place, because that there has your referral links, so you can send people to the shop all around the world. And just remember that you need to send people to the shop in their zone, not that you need to send the link from where you are, but from where they're going to be purchasing it from. You've also got the academy, which is the product training. And then you've also got the business training, which is really amazing, actually, because we never had anything like that in the past. If we needed business training, it was basically me doing a video, or Linda doing a video, or someone else doing a video to try and explain what was happening. And it was our understanding of it. It wasn't necessarily corporate's clear direction. And now what we do have is some amazing training in there. So if you haven't had a look at it, the first things to really look at is the fast start training, because this is the first couple of months, right? So the fast start works from, there's a few different aspects to it, which are clearly explained in the training, but you have the cash bonuses, which are the rest of the month that you join and the next full calendar month. So this is something to understand, that if you join today on the 12th of October, your fast start cash bonuses will be till the end of October and for all of November. Okay. If you joined on the 1st of October, you would also get all of October and all of November. If you joined on the 31st of October, you would get all of October, which is just one day, and all of November. So just understand that that's a variable.
Can I just ask Jason if you could explain what the fast track is quickly for people too?
Yeah, so there are cash bonuses on the different devices that you sell. So let me just pull that up so I've got the numbers in front of me.
And just to say, there are two, I'm sure Jason will talk about it, there's another component too when you win the free device, but he'll get to that. Yeah. So, and we only used to get a month, so this is really great. This is heaps better too.
Yeah, it used to work on 30 days from the date of purchase, but now we get a whole calendar month plus the month before. And the reason that they've done that is just within the system, it's easier for them to just go, all right, everyone kind of finishes at that same date. But if you sell a Healy Holistic, you'll get 25 euros. If you sell a Resonance, this is actually an old brochure I've got here, but you like 100 euros, 150 euros, I think even up to 200 euros as a cash bonus if you sell a professional device at full price, right? So these are ongoing cash bonuses on top of what you're normally getting as a direct commission.
So, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. That's not the direct commission. You get the direct commission and you get that bonus in that first period that Jason's talking about. So the rest of your month and the next month. And then there's also the winning of a free device. So, Jason, can you just talk about how they can qualify for that?
Yeah, and when you go to your back office, what's great now as well is you'll have a widget that will explain all of this. If you actually look at your back office, who here has recently joined but has never seen their back office? Anyone? You guys? Okay. So the website that you need to go to is my.healy.world. Yeah, the product is just insanely good, right?
Yes.
And so we've continued to use it, and now we've gone through all of that the quality of the company is matching the quality of the product. Yeah. It's much easier for me to be in integrity and go, you guys should have a look at this. So if you go to the back office and you log in there, and you would have got your email with all of your login details, the fast start details are laid out there for you, including how many days you've got left and where you are on the scale of earning free devices. But these devices are on top of any other promotional devices that are going on. So, for example, right now in the month of October, we have the Amplify Your Tree or something like that promotion going on, where if you sell 3 Healy Holistic Plus or more, then or Healy Resonance Plus, sorry, or higher, you will then receive as a free gift a Healy Resonance.
It's called Grow. You can look in the back office, Grow Your Tree. There should be a PDF in there under tools, under downloads as well, right, Jason?
Correct. Yeah. So you can right now actually with the Fast Start get extra cash bonuses of 150 euros per device. You can get a free device through the Fast Start, and then on top of that with the Grow Your Tree you can get a free Healy Resonance as well, or maybe even if you build your business to a second layer you could get a free Meg Healey.
Yes.
All on top of each other. And there's clear reason for this. Healy understand that the faster you get started with your momentum, the easier it is to get involved in this business, right? Because no one is more excited about this business than people that are new to it, because they're like, oh my God, look what this does. Yeah. For us, we're like, yeah, we know, we've been doing this for 2 years already. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's hard for us to get as excited sometimes because
it's true.
Something we use all the time.
What were you going to say, Medina?
What is the Meg Healey? Just briefly, so people know what that's about too, because that's just a new thing.
It is. So very, very exciting product, because one of the ladies that's involved with the Meg Healey is a lady called Carolyn McMacken. And Carolyn McMacken is probably one of the most influential people in this field of vibrational therapy. She kind of reintroduced this technology in some ways back into the world when she, as a chiropractor, found one of the old vibrational therapy devices in a clinic that she was then working at. And she has a most incredible example case where she brought someone from a career-ending ankle injury in the NFL football in America 6 weeks before the Super Bowl, got him not only back onto the field within 6 weeks of an life or career-ending ankle injury, he actually ran 146 yards during the Super Bowl. Now, that wasn't enough for the Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl, but still, as far as her achievement as the treatment, it was really, really quite incredible. And she uses something which is called the FSM, which is frequency specific microcurrents, and that uses two frequencies, one frequency for a location on the body and a second frequency for what would you like to do to that area. So say, for example, you were working on your kidneys, right? So there's a frequency for the density of your kidney. So then you've got a frequency for that. And then maybe you're wanting to release pain, or maybe you're wanting to work on the acidity, or maybe there are, various aspects. And all of those have a separate frequency on what you're doing there. And that has been applied to something called the Meg Healey. But what's really exciting about the Meg Healey is it doesn't use wires and cables like all of the other devices do. It actually uses magnetic fields to carry the frequencies. And they've done some preliminary studies, which will be published in a peer review magazine that Marcus has done with his team. And they've shown that there is almost equal kind of response, whether it's via the cables or whether it's being induced by a magnetic field. So this is, the Healy is revolutionary in its tech. Sometimes you see or hear that there are so many different devices like this on the market. Yes, there are products like this, but nothing to the same extent in the technology that it has. We have a whole medical board that works across a whole field of different technologies in how to apply these frequencies. And then on top of that, we have something called the quantum sensor in here that none of the other products have. And the quantum sensor connects to you. Right. So this is where we get into quantum mechanics and quantum entanglement in this tech. And you don't need to understand how quantum mechanics works, but all you need to know is that if you have ever had that feeling of, I've been thinking about my friend, and then your friend calls you, that's quantum entanglement.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you and this Healy are doing are getting quantum entangled so that it can feel or measure what's going on in your body. And it does that every 10 to 30 seconds when you're running the Pink Dot app. And so when you're doing that to do the local reading, it's actually adjusting its frequency every time. So some of you, if you've started with the Healy just recently, you might have the gold programs that are recommended to run initially. And you might notice that even if you run care every time, the frequencies that you're running on care vary from time to time. Right? And that's because the quantum sensor is tuning into you and going, okay, I'm going to give you this frequency. How do you respond? Oh, you respond like that. Okay, then I'll give you this frequency. How do you respond to that one? Beautiful. Okay, so now I'll give you this one. And it's almost like, the best way I kind of can visualize it is herding. So it's kind of like a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Okay, a little bit up here, a little bit down there. It's almost like you do it, but it kind of guides you energetically in where to go in vibrationally. And then on top of that, we've got the Blue Dot app, which uses this quantum sensor through entanglement to be able to send frequencies literally anywhere in the universe. Yeah, and that's the beautiful thing. Animals don't have this, bias like we as humans do. They will just receive the frequencies. And one thing that I really noticed, and like maybe Therese is a great example now if she's got a Healy anywhere near her, but when I go to someone's house and I start showing them the Healy, all of a sudden their pets start coming out, and they're like, that's really
Yes.
weird. They normally don't come out when someone else is here or something like that, you know. And the
Yes.
animals just love it. They really, really do.
Yeah,
And so I guess the thing is that there is so much information that we can go through, and I do have limited time on this call. So what I guess really want to make sure is that you guys understand that right now is a really valuable time to be getting into the business, as Healy has been working through its known growth issues. You know, we become aware of our teething problems, and we resolve them one by one, right? But Healy's got to the point that it's done that now. And while it was doing that, it said, look, we understand and thank you for your patience. So what we're going to do is we're going to give 50% off pretty much all of our products. They're now at the point where they're like, we've pretty much resolved our issues. We're going to start bringing this back to its true value. And it's no longer at 50% off. This month, we're going to do 45. And this is going to be a rolling decrease now, so that in the future, it isn't going to be Healy's always at 50% off. It's going to be, you know, there will always be a sale opportunity, but this standard 50% off thing has come to an end. And they're showing that now by this month being 45, next month will be less again, I can guarantee you. As we move forward, it's really a good time for anyone that you know of that's interested to take advantage of these savings, because they will get less and less.